The first thing I want you to do to download the starting point of our application. So first, start with the idea, who am I? I'm Dr. Lex on Twitter. I will talk to you today about Backbone. And first, when I started my adventure with web development, the idea of creating a dynamic website was writing something like this in C++ as a server-side include. And I was happy that I could achieve a dynamic website. It doesn't resemble anything we have today, like Gmail and Twitter, etc. So later, the Perl was a huge improvement, and PHP and Java. We could make great apps, but on the backend. At the same time, JavaScript was slow, was mostly used by spammers to open new pop-up windows or to just add snowflakes on your website. So really, nobody liked JavaScript. Most people I know used the NoScript add-on in their web browser. And it wasn't cool to code in JavaScript. If you wanted to do something cool, you would do it in Flash. But after a couple of years, something changed. With XML HTTP requests, the revolution came, and the apps like Gmail emerged. And I also noticed something strange, that I started to code more on the front-end side than on the back-end side. It was a shocking revelation to me. And I had a problem, because on the back end, we had all these great frameworks, but on the front end, it was, as on the previous presentation was said, it was Wild Wild West. Of course, we had these libraries like Jquery, MooTools, Dojo, but I don't consider them frameworks. They're just libraries to help you to cope with browser incompatibilities or to simplify DOM manipulation. And of course, why do we need frameworks, actually? Well, people say we shouldn't reinvent the wheel, right? Or to repeat ourselves. It's obvious. But with this great functionality that frameworks give us, comes the problem of a learning curve. It is really hard to learn a new framework. It's like, for me personally, in my opinion, it's like learning a new language, because you have to learn new functions, new design pattern, and it's hard. So even after these years of experience that I have, on the contrary, I can imagine writing in C++ web apps. So we have to learn constantly. And if you look at the current requirements for a front-end developer, which is a quite huge list. Can you identify yourself with all of them? Or at least with these in bold? So it is a lot to ask of you to just sit and learn a new framework, right? But isn't this why we come to these meetings on Saturdays, to learn new things? We want to try new things, we want to learn. And in my personal opinion, the best way to learn new things is to actually put your fingers on the keyboard and write something. Because when you look at slides, okay, you think you remember something, but when you actually code something, it stays in your mind. So imagine yourself right now that you're Neo sitting in a matrix chair, and you're plugging into the matrix right now, and you are about to learn the kung fu of JavaScript, okay? So open right now your favorite. Once again, okay. So do you have the link? Okay. So I don't want to bother you with the buzzwords about Backbone. It's just another framework. There are many other, like Knockout, Sprout Core, Ember.js, and Knockout.js, I said already, okay. And why you should use Backbone, I don't know, it's just another option. It's quite easy, It's fun. People say it's, again, they feel fun of writing JavaScript. So today, our goal is to write a simple application. I will show you the final result. This is what our application would look like. Okay, maybe this one. So we will use the RESTful source of graph of Facebook. They give us a RESTful service to get the data from the graph. This is example result from the search of Facebook when you get the Facebook pages in a form of JSON. These are the data that are available without any API key. This is publicly available. Here you can see details of a page on Facebook. You can get this data very easily, just writing a simple URL in your web browser. In our application, we will use this data and create a simple page searcher or page trender, as you like. Let's, for example, search for Backbone. I hope it works. No? No. Okay. You see, all the data were, I don't know if you noticed, but the data was fetched asynchronously, even the likes that were available in the details page. Okay, this is the final result, what we are going to achieve. So this is the URLs of the sources of the pages API, search API. And let's go to our application. So open the file application.js. Everybody is still with me right now?
Except for the URL.
URL of what?
Facebook API.
Okay, we'll get to that. So everybody is in application.js right now, okay? Yeah. Okay, let's delete that code and start with creating a simple namespace for our application. For example, app. And it will be a simple JavaScript object, literal. And this is it. This is the whole application. Ooh! Okay, you're still with me. Okay. So the main part of Backbone, the core component, is a model. So in our application, we'll need models. It's again a simple object literal. And what we should append to this object literal. We'll use right now the API of Backbone and add to our models, create a model of a fan page. So here it's like a class that represents a fan page in Facebook. And here comes the Backbone API. So you access the classes. You can make inheritance by object augmentation. So this basically makes inheritance. It's like inheritance by object augmentation. And we create a class for a fan page. And as I mentioned, we will use Facebook API as a RESTful source. And Backbone is very good at dealing with RESTful services. So our URL for a single fan page, it was HTTPS. And that's it. Oh, let's make it a function. Okay. And there is a special method in every Backbone component, which is initialize. These are the things that we should do when the Backbone object is initiated. This method will be started. So right now we'll use the method that is available in Backbone, which is fetch. And what we need to fetch is a fan page with specific ID. So we'll pass a data parameter ID. Okay. So this basically passes the parameter, makes this kind of URL, passes the ID number while doing fetch. And that's it. When we can simply write down, for example, fan page, and use this class. And let's pass some ID, like this from this URL. Maybe.
Where do you take the ID from?
I copied it from the example. You can write anything you want. You can write 1, 2, 3, 4, and it will be a Facebook object. So let me show you how it looks in the Firebug or in the console. Oh. Right. Good. Who said it? Okay, the cup is for you. Thank you.
I already got one.
Okay. Attribute. Okay. Thank you. So if you see, the Backbone easily fetched the data from the Facebook graph. So this is just an example how to use it. Let's go further. Let's use another Backbone component, which is collections. Collections is just a set of models. So if you want to sort or do anything that you can do on collections, this component is just for that. So another namespace is Backbone collection. And again, we use inheritance by object augmentation. We also have to add the namespace to our application. So what we will store in our collection, we will store fan pages that we got from Facebook. So we declare what kind of model will be stored in the collection. this is exactly the type we're going to store in the collection. And also, I'll pass how Backbone should fetch the data from Facebook. And again, I pass the URL parameter as a function. And the Facebook API for searching web pages is just graphfacebook.com/search. And if you look at the results that search in graph of Facebook gives us, it's an object that consists of an array of data and at the end paging. So we just can't simply fetch this URL because we will get not pages but these two objects. So we have to help Backbone to parse the data and tell it how he should treat the data fetched from Facebook. So we want the data array. And Backbone automatically will create models because it will know right here that it should create from this data from Facebook, it should create this type of models. So let's create our page list. Okay. So we have our collection ready. It's not yet fetched from Facebook because we didn't use any initialized function to get the data at when the constructor is called. And right now we want to somehow display the data on our website because we would like to make a table of this data. And what Backbone helps in this situation is to give us another part of the MVC model, which is model view controller, the views. So let's create a view that will help us show the data from Facebook. This is another component, Backbone view. And again, inheritance. And right now we have to look into our code of our website. I created a simple template of a single row in that table, which consists of a name, category, number of likes, and how many people are talking about a certain page. So we want to populate data from each model and put these rows into the table. So how a page should be represented? It should be represented, Backbone gives us a special parameter, a tag name. In what type of tag the data should be encapsulated. This will be a table row. And there's a special function in views which tells us how we should render, how we should really paste the data on the website. So it's the special function render. And here is where we should do the DOM magic, manipulate the DOM. So our row, before we make a render, we should, I forgot about extending the namespace. So let's add a namespace of views. And first, how are we going to initialize every page? And again, let's remember that this is a single view that is representing a single row in a table. Right here, there's a new concept from Backbone, which is bound to the underscore library. Who of you used underscore? Okay, so many people know this library. And its strict dependency in Backbone, it has really great functions, and especially higher order functions, like each, for each, and etc., map, reduce. And it is very helpful. It's called like the missing part of JavaScript. And it has also a simple templating engine. So we'll assign a template in our view. And underscore has this, I don't know, this object special is reserved sign for Backbone. It's the underscore, as the name suggests. And the function, the method available in underscore is template. So the template is a partial function which can compile HTML object. So we want to get the data from this script, from this template. Right now I'll use Jquery HTML to get the data from this script. Fun page template. Is it right? Yes, fun page template. And we have to get HTML code. And this, maybe. This code basically will compile a template for us. So if you want to render this template, we have to populate the data from the model. So let's create a row of a table. And pass the model data. This is important. We have to pass a JSON string to our template to populate the data into the template. Okay. And there's a very important concept from Backbone, which is the implementing of the true MVC pattern, which is listening for the changes in the model. So the view actually awaits from the changes in the model and subscribe for these changes. And this is based on events component available in Backbone. So in our view, we want to subscribe for a change in a model of a fan page. This is the name of the event. And after that, we pass a function that we want to call when this event occurs. And it is also important to pass the context, because we may lose the context of this. So we want to pass the view when this function will be called. So right now we have a view ready to render a single row, but we don't have anything that manages a table of data, the whole table. So let's make another view. At this point, everybody has the same code? Okay. So everybody's still with me? Okay. Because we don't have a template for the whole table, the element is already in our code, which is here. This is our search results. This is a section with a table. And right here we'll be adding these table rows. But this element is already in our HTML. We'll be not using a template. We have to pass to Backbone information about which element is bound to the view. So our element is a search. I'll pass ID of an element, search results. And let's call initialize. And we're gonna subscribe to an event. You remember page list was our collection. So when this collection changes, was for example reset, we fetch data from Facebook, we should subscribe to this event and then render the whole table. And again, I use the same structure of bind. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, we are in CW4 and waiting for you when you ready. Oh, and Daniel came here to say that to you.
Oh, just finish the talk.
Finish the talk. Yeah. Okay, so.
Yes. After the talk, there will be. Sorry for that.
So we don't have much time, so let's make it quicker. So let's create a render function to help us render the table. First, if we have any results in the table, let's clear it. And we have to populate all table rows. So we use underscored each function. We'll get through all our pages. This is the higher order function. We'll pass a function, it's like for each. And we also have to pass a context, this. And what we will do with every fan page. Let's create a row. And right now we have to pass a model to a view, because in our model view, we didn't have, where is the model view? Right here. Oh, this is here. We didn't have access to the model. We have to pass it to our views. So the view know what to render. And let's some Jquery helpers to append the data to our table. Oh, thank you. And we have to pass the element that was generated by our template. And basically this is all. But right now we don't have, this is not initiated in any way. We have to initiate our search view. Oh. We have to also, okay, for example, we want to have, to catch the event if someone writes something in the search box, and then we want to search, actually to pass to the Facebook search what we wrote in this search box. So let's create a view for this search box again. The element, if you look at the code, HTML code, it's ID search. And let's initialize. We'll do nothing initialize maybe. Okay, but what we want to do is catch the enter key in this box and to pass the data to our view. So let's subscribe to events, like, for example, key press. Let's handle enter. Let's name it the function. This will be the name of the function that we will use to handle our key press. Of course, every event will receive an event variable, event object. So we want to catch, event key code, for example, 13. 13 is a key code for enter. When this key code is pressed, we want to catch the term that was written in the search box. Let's get the value of our input box. let's prevent default. So our page doesn't reload. And right here we're gonna use a special function available in Backbone, which helps you to manipulate URL in a browser. Oh, we don't have a router yet. So we have to create.
I don't think we can make it, to be honest.
We don't have time?
Well, it's like we are 5 minutes after time.
Okay.
The other group is waiting
Okay.
for you to join for the
So,
Bartek speeches. So
okay.
I don't know how much time will it take, but if it's long.
It's one more function we have to write and it's ready.
Okay,
So, but router is very important in Backbone. So, code with me right now. We'll use the router class. We want to term. This is important. This is how we pass parameters. This is similar to other frameworks. How to make use of URLs in a browser. Okay, let's do search when the term is passed in the browser URL box. We initialize the view for our search box and start registering the history of URLs in the browser. This helps Backbone to make use of the back and forward keys in the browser. So it can rehydrate the data. Okay, let's make search. What to do when the search is initiated as a function. And right here we want to fetch the data from Facebook to our page list. So we want to search for what was put in the search box. Our term. And type, we're going to search for pages. Okay. And finally, let's initiate search view. And start the router. And it should work. And this is the whole application that we forget about the router. I'm calling, yes, right here. We should navigate in the browser. It's a special function available in Backbone, helper function. So let's navigate to our search plus term. And let's fire the router event. And this is the whole application. It should work for you right now. You may ask why I put exclamation mark right here. Do you know why there is exclamation mark in this in URLs? Sorry? Yes, it's for SEO purposes because search engines use the exclamation mark to know that there is a content and not just anchor tag. And they will try to parse the data. Okay, we have to finish.
It's 5:30